This show is brought to you by Safety FM.
The following program is rated MALSV. It contains strong language, sexual situations, and violence. It is intended only for mature audiences.
Finally, show with the balls to call it like it is. Rated R Safety Show on Safety FM.
Countdown to audio torture.
The Rated R Safety Show starts in 3, 2, 1.
Let the eardrum pain begin.
Forget the corporate bullshit. This is the Rated R Safety Show with your host, Dr. It doesn't matter who the host is.
Well, there you go. It does not matter who the host is. Today is Monday. Yes, Monday. August the 30th of 2021, 242nd day of the year. That's what's going on, and only 123 days left to go. So there you go. We are broadcasting live from the Safety FM studios in Orlando, Florida, and coming across the multiverse known as Safety FM. And then we are also hanging out with our friends and our colleagues at that other place that we do stuff at.
Radio.
So there you go. A lot of stuff going on inside of the morning. Were you up late last night watching some wannabe boxing fight? I mean, I don't even know if it's considered boxing at this point or if it's really just considered exhibition, or I don't know, depending on what you did last night. So how was your weekend? Did you have some fun? Are you ready for this work week? Getting everything ready and grooving and moving and all that kind of fun stuff. I know it becomes an interesting time as we start going forward with everything. So that's why we start off on these lovely Monday mornings and go from there. So let's talk about what was trending from over the weekend, because that's always important for us to talk about. James Gordon was trending on Saturday after his performance of Cinderella alongside singer Camila Cabello made the social media rounds. Gordon was dressed as a mouse, and the internet was not amused. So there you go. Hashtag Coke 0400. Yeah, Coke Zero Sugar 400, was trending alongside NASCAR over the weekend. Many Twitter users used the hashtag to send congrats to Ryan Blaney, who won the 400-mile-long NASCAR Cup Series. Also, another trend that was hitting over the weekend was Happy Birthday, Liam Payne. Was trending on Sunday as fans sent out the singer's birthday wishes. Payne turned 29. Also hitting the trends, of course, was Hurricane Ida. Was trending yesterday as many boarded up businesses in lockdown ahead of the life-threatening Category 4 storm. And we'll talk about that a little bit more coming up. Kanye and Donda landed on Twitter's top 10 trends yesterday after the rapper finally released a long-awaited album. Off the Grid was also trending as fans tweeted about the song that featured on the Donda album. So there you go. So a lot of stuff going on inside of there. And then another hashtag that was heating the sequences of events yesterday was hashtag Michael Jackson. Well, why was Michael Jackson hitting? Well, yesterday was trending Michael Jackson because fan of the late Pop King tweeted about his birthday wishes and memories. He would have been 62 yesterday. 62. So there you go. A lot of stuff going on inside of the world. So what do you have going on inside of your neck of the woods? Maybe that's some of the stuff to talk about as we get moving and grooving and all that kind of fun stuff. So you know how this goes, if not, let's kind of talk about it. If you're new to the show, it goes in this particular sequence. We got some people popping into the boxes. You can already hear the little click, 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 click. Saying hello, good morning, there you go, all that kind of fun stuff. So we'll address them as we get into it. If you're interested in jumping in, you can go into the social media platforms, talk about the things that are going on inside of your neck of the woods, or you can actually text in at 866-930-SFM1. That's 866-930-SFM1. If you are on the radio, or if you're on the podcast, you're kind of a little bit behind. Sorry about that, but you just are. As we do this between 7 and 8 Eastern Standard Time. Here in the good old U.S. of A. So just in case. So let's take you to our friends at the feature of the story of the news. We'll get that moving and grooving for you first thing this morning. And then when we come back, I'll talk about what's going on inside of the world of the news, give you my, I guess I'll give you my twist on things, and then we'll go from there.
Here is the news on the Rated R Safety Show.
From Feature Story News in London, I'm Ollie Barrett. Rockets have been fired at Kabul airport with the deadline for evacuations from Afghanistan approaching. The rockets were stopped before reaching their target. The US had warned more attacks on Afghanistan's capital were expected. Hurricane Ida's made landfall in Louisiana with winds around 150 miles an hour. It comes on the 16th anniversary of Hurricane Katrina, which devastated New Orleans. The city has lost power as it battles Ida, US correspondent Jagriti Dave reports.
US President Joe Biden visited the Federal Emergency Management Agency headquarters for an update on Hurricane Ida. He urged people in the path of the storm to heed the advice of local authorities.
Everyone should listen to the instructions from local and state officials, just how dangerous this is, and take it seriously.
Hundreds of thousands of people in Louisiana are without power. The state's governor, John Bell Edwards, told people to be prepared.
It is a good idea to have a mattress nearby that you can use to put over yourself and other family members to protect you from any falling debris.
There are also concerns for Louisiana's health system, which is bearing the brunt of one of the country's worst coronavirus outbreaks.
The International Atomic Energy Agency says North Korea appears to have restarted its Yongbyon nuclear reactor. The IAEA says the reactor's been discharging cooling water since July. Japan's health ministry says foreign materials found inside COVID-19 vaccines in Okinawa may be fragments of rubber stoppers from vials. The reassurance over the quality of the batches came after 1.63 million doses of Moderna vaccines distributed across Japan were suspended over fears of contamination. Phoebe Amoroso reports from Tokyo.
Okinawa Prefecture suspended the use of the Moderna vaccine after 3 syringes were found to contain black substances. The health ministry said these particles likely broke off from the stopper when the needles were not inserted in the appropriate way, a problem that has also been seen with Pfizer vaccines. The ministry has issued a warning over the issue, but says the overall batch remains safe to use. Another prefecture, Gunma, has also suspended the use of Moderna over the discovery of black particles. These vaccines are from a separate lot than 3 batches that were identified as contaminated last week. Foreign materials believed to be metallic particles have been found inside vials at vaccination centres across Japan. 2 men in their 30s both died within days of receiving their second dose from one of the contaminated batches. No causal link has been established, but the health ministry has promised a quick and transparent investigation into their deaths. Phoebe Amoroso, Tokyo.
New travel rules have come into force in the UK. Canada, Switzerland and Denmark move on to its green list. Thailand and Montenegro are now red, requiring hotel isolation for UK arrivals. From bureaus worldwide, this is FSN.
With FSN Spotlight, I'm Simon Marks, remembering today the Hollywood legend Ed Asner, who died on Sunday at the age of 91. He was in the 1980s not only one of the top stars on American television, but he was also the head of the Screen Actors Guild, the acting union in America, and after that, very active on the left of the US political spectrum. It is as the curmudgeonly newsman Lou Grant that he will be best remembered, a role that started out as a central figure in the much-beloved Mary Tyler Moore comedy show, but then transitioned to a spin-off, a serious drama called Lou Grant, about the role of the press in American democracy.
Nobody knew the unbelievable sea change between doing a 3-camera live comedy to a 1-camera filmed drama. I was constantly told by the 2 producers, now we're not going to be down on the set with you, so you got to remember who Lou is. You got to keep that spirit of Lou. Well, I kept trying to keep that spirit of Lou with no laughs because it's a filmed drama.
Ed Asner talking to the Freedom Forum. It was a brilliant filmed drama that would eventually continue for 114 episodes. He was 40 when he found fame. He was still working into his 80s, lending his voice to the elderly widower in the animated comedy Up. With FSN Spotlight, I'm Simon Marks.
To recap the top stories, rockets have been fired at Kabul airport with the deadline for evacuations from Afghanistan approaching. Hurricane Ida's made landfall in Louisiana with winds of around 150 miles an hour. Japan says materials found inside COVID vaccines in Okinawa may be fragments of rubber from vials. And the IAEA says North Korea appears to have restarted its Yongbyon nuclear reactor. That's the latest feature story news. Ollie Barrett reporting.
Safety in a way never heard of before. The Rated R Safety Show on Safety FM.
Hamilton was adopted in 2008. He really likes to be around people. I get out my mat and I'm doing a downward dog and he's underneath. He's quite the pug about town. He gets invited to a lot of parties. He knows he's a pretty big deal. Look at this little face. How could you not love him?
Hamilton the Pug, Instagram star, and shelter pet. Amazing adoption stories start in shelters. Visit theshelterpetproject.org to find a pet near you. Brought to you by Maddie's Fund, the Humane Society of the United States, and the Ad Council.
You make sure his toys don't have any sharp edges. You taught her what to do when the smoke alarm goes off. You do so much to keep your child safe. But are you using the right car seat for your child? Car crashes are a leading killer of children ages 1 to 13. Protect your child's future at every stage of life. For information on the right seat for your child, visit safercar.gov/the right seat.
A message from the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council. So you see, son, good manners are important. Should I go through it again?
Yes.
Yes, please.
Yes, please.
Exactly. Always say please, thank you, you're welcome, and excuse me. Sit up straight, hold doors open, don't speak with your mouth full, keep your elbows off the table. Share your things, play nice, and generally treat others the way you'd like to be treated. Got it?
Got it.
And stop picking your nose.
Most parenting is hard to do in just 2 minutes. But 2 minutes twice a day making sure they brush their teeth is easier, and it could help save them from a lifetime of tooth pain. Visit 2min2x.org to find out more. A message from the Partnership for Healthy Mouths, Healthy Lives, and the Ad Council.
I'm a retired school psychologist, and helping people was my thing. After my stroke, when Meals on Wheels started, I was on the other end of the stick, so to speak. My name is Julius Gaines, creative writer, poet, photographer.
1 in 6 seniors faces the threat of hunger, and millions more live in isolation. Drop off a hot meal and say a quick hello. Volunteer for Meals on Wheels by donating your lunch break at americaletsdolunch.org. This message brought to you by Meals on Wheels America and the Ad Council.
We all want to make sure that our family is protected in medical emergencies. What many of us don't realize is that health insurance won't always cover the full amount of an emergency medical flight. Even with comprehensive coverage, you could get hit with high deductibles and copays. That's why an Air Medcare Network membership is so important. As a member, if an emergency arises, you won't see a bill for air medical transport when flown by an AMCN provider. Best of all, a membership covers your entire household for as little as $85 a year. AMCN providers are called upon to transport nearly 100,000 patients a year. This is coverage no family should go without. Now, as a Jay Allen Show listener, you'll get up to a $50 e-gift card with a new membership. Simply visit airmedcarenetwork.com/safety and use the offer code SAFETY. And don't forget to tell them that Jay Allen sent you. Hey, come in real close. I got something to share with you. Not everybody has a beautiful head. You know what I'm saying? Not everybody can pull off the shaved head look. Hey, I'm not digging on people. I'm just bringing it up. Some people out there are losing their hair. Now, I want to tell you about my friends at Keeps. 2 out of 3 men will experience some form of hair loss by the time that they are 35. More than 50 million men in the U.S. suffer from male pattern baldness. There are only 2 FDA-approved medications that can prevent hair loss. Keeps offers them both. Keeps offers a simple, stress-free way to keep your hair. Convenient virtual doctor consultation and medication delivered straight to your door every 3 months. You don't even have to leave your home. Think about that. There's other things that you have to leave your home to be able to pick up, not with Keeps. They have low-cost treatments that start just as low as $10 per month, and Keeps offers generic versions. It's discreet packaging and proven results. Now think about this for a moment. Prevention is key. Treatment can take 4 to 5 months to see results. So act fast. If you're ready to take action and prevent hair loss, go to KEEPS.com/safety to receive your first month of treatment for free. That's KEEPS.com/safety to get your first month for free. KEEPS.com/safety. Now just remember, not everybody has such a beautiful head like mine.
This show is almost as enjoyable as hearing the sound of the toilet flush. Rated R Safety Show on Safety FM.
Okay, they said almost. It's not exactly the same thing. I mean, let's just get the story straight here. That's for sure. Anyway, so it is 16 minutes past the top of the hour as you and I are hanging out on this lovely, whatever day it is. It's Monday. Come on. We already know that. Anyway, so let's get it moving and grooving and talking about all the things that are going on inside of the world, because that's always important to do. Anyway, so taking it from the top of the list, the CDC has a new guide of inclusive language in order to promote healthy equity and inclusive communication. For example, inmate, prisoner, convict, ex-convict, and criminal will be replaced with person in pre-trial or with charge. Persons on parole or probation of people in immigration detention facilities. The guide emphasizes person-first language to avoid dehumanizing individuals. So what do you think about there? So what do you think about the whole gig there in regards of that? I mean, do you like the new language? It seems like we've had a couple of language changes over the last little bit as we've been talking. We've been talking about that change. Last week we were talking about the change of the wording of breastfeeding in regards to that. So what do you think about all these language changes coming about? Is it something that you're finding as a good thing to do, a bad thing to do, or how do you feel about it? I mean, it's just a question. It's something to think about for sure. Anyways, let's continue talking. CNN once again promoted a story that was, questionable. Earlier this month, the news network featured a single mother, Dasha Kelly, who was facing eviction at the end of a federal eviction moratorium. Throughout the on-air appearance, more than $230,000 was raised via GoFundMe for the woman and her children. Kelly later admitted that she was not actually the mother of the three children, but rather the girlfriend of their father. CNN did eventually correct the story, but only after hundreds of thousands of dollars were raised. Stories like that are not new to the network. In July, CNN spotlighted Tennessee former vaccine manager Dr. Michelle Fisk, who claimed that she had received a muzzle in the mail as a threat and blamed the Republicans. It was later discovered that the muzzle was paid for by Ficus herself on her own credit card, and she continues to deny buying it. Also remembered that Jussie Smollett saga, CNN still has not admitted that Smollett lied. So there you go. A lot of stuff going on inside of the world of the news there. So there you go. So let's continue talking. A new study has found that nearly 1 in 3 Americans may have contracted COVID-19 by the end of 2020, with only a fraction reported by public health organizations. Researchers from Columbia University Mailman School of Public Health found that the vast majority of infections were not accounted for by the number of confirmed cases. Those cases were so mild or asymptomatic that individuals did not feel the need to report the infection to public department. The new information had caused the death rate to drop from 0.8 to 0.3. What's more, the study also found that certain parts of the country experience heightened infection rates of 60% by population of the upper Midwest and Mississippi Valley, including North and South Dakota, Minnesota, Wisconsin, and Iowa was infected by year end. Also, a study of Israel compared the vaccine protection with the natural immunity, found that those vaccinated with Pfizer vaccine were 13% more likely to get COVID-19 again. Just like chickenpox, if you had it, you don't need to get the vaccine per the CDC. Worth asking, of course, why mandate vaccine for those who are more protected with their own immune systems is just a question that does come up. And then again, the lack of transparency is what is making more and more people frustrated. So what do you think about this as you do hear this? I mean, it is a question for you to come up with the answer on what your thought process is about the whole thing. Anyways, let's talk about what happened on Friday inside of the market. And I think for that, we need to talk to Mr. Johnny Smalls.
Here's your Market Beat Minute for Monday, August 30th, 2021. The markets recovered from another swoon last week to bounce from the short-term moving average and set a new all-time high. The swoon was caused by a fear of rising inflation, fears that were confirmed by the PCE price index. But it seems the market didn't care. The outlook for earnings continues to be bright, and that alone is enough to keep the market moving higher. This week, the focus will be on non-farm payroll reports slated to be released on Friday. Last month, the U.S. economy added 1 million new jobs, including revisions. and that pace is expected for August as well. The weekly claims data continues to trend lower, suggesting lower rates of unemployment as well. Better than expected data, or even just data in line with the consensus, could be enough for the market to set another fresh all-time high. You can get the inside track from Wall Street's brightest minds delivered directly to your inbox every day at marketbeatminute.com.
Okay, thank you, Johnny Smalls, for that one. Rising inflations. Thanks, John. Hey, at least he's being honest on what's going on. Osprey, shush, whatever. So there you go. Some stuff going on inside of there. We like to talk about the market on Monday, even though I know a few days has passed, because, maybe you're just not in the mix. LOL, my girlfriend just told me last night that I snore too loud. Well, you know what I do when I have had a significant other tell me that I snore too loud? I stay up all night just to make sure to see how loud I actually snore. I just have never found how loud I snore. I mean, I just don't know what's going on. Anyway, let's continue talking. A cow was spotted at a McDonald's drive-thru in Wisconsin last week. Jessica Nelson of Moisine was shocked when she pulled up to the Mickey D's location in Marshall and saw a cow in the back seat of a Buick sedan 3 cars ahead of her. I thought it was a fake at first, but who puts the cow in the back of a Buick? She told the Associated Press. She quickly took a shot video of the cow, posted it on Facebook, and the caption, "Holy freaking cow, tell me that I live in Wisconsin without telling me that I live in Wisconsin." Nelson said that the family of the cow owner saw the post and reached out to her, and they informed her that the calf had just been purchased along with 2 other calves, and they were lying down in the back seat at an auction. So there you go. If you take a look, there is a actual picture online available of it, and it is courtesy of channel. You ready for this? Channel 3000, not channel 30, not channel 300, channel 3000, courtesy of channel 3000. So just be on the lookout if you want to go take a look at what a cow looks like in the backseat of a car. That's for sure.
Listen at your own risk. Rated R Safety Show.
Okay, in some serious news, Hurricane Ida made landfall in Louisiana yesterday afternoon as a Category 4 storm. It hit at a maximum sustained winds of about 150 miles per hour, just missing the Category 5 cutoff of 157 miles per hour. Its winds were so ferocious that officials detected a negative flow to the Mississippi River in one part of the state, according to the U.S. Army Corps of Engineer officials. Ida had nearly doubled in strength in just 24 hours over the weekend, jumping from 85 miles per hour to 150 miles per hour for a storm, which meteorologists called an explosive intensification. New Orleans officials said that it intensified so fast there was no time to order mandatory evacuation of its 390,000 residents. About 300,000 customers in the state already experiencing power outages as of Sunday afternoon, according to poweroutage.usa. Ida arrived at the exact date that Hurricane Katrina devastated the area 16 years ago, killing more than 1,800 and leaving millions homeless. The storm tied the 5th strongest hurricane to come ashore in the country based on wind speed. This will be a continuing and developing story. We'll bring you more information as we do find out more ahead.
You are listening to a radio god. What? This has to be an error. That host is not a radio god. Anyways, this is the Rated R Safety Show on Safety FM.
Okay, Indiana teen who has been missing since April was found safe in Florida. State police canceled the Amber Alert on Friday for Aliyah Ramirez, 14, who was last seen in Syracuse, Indiana on April the 27th. Florida officers arrested 2 women whom they say are related to Ramirez, Elisa Ramirez, 25, and Alicia's grandmother, Elizabeth Sands, 47, in connection with her disappearance. No charges have been filed as of yet. 47 in a grandmother. So there you go. I mean, some always interesting stuff as we are talking and going about and talking about all the things that are going on inside of this world. I mean, how do you take somebody's kid, even if it's a family member, and not give them the Iggy? That's kind of a weird one. That's kind of a weird spot to be in. I mean, think about it for a moment. So I don't know, just something to think about. Anyways, a mom from Los Angeles fought off a 65-pound mountain lion that was attacking her 5-year-old son with her bare hands, according to the California Department of Fish and Wildlife. Yes, Fish and Wildlife. The animal attacked the child while he was playing in the front yard of Las Calabasas, leaving him with injuries to his head, neck, and chest. A big cat dragged him about 45 yards across the lawn. Captain Patrick Foy, a spokesperson for the department, said. Hearing of the commotion, the boy's mother ran outside, started punching and striking the mountain lion with her bare hand and got him off her son. She absolutely saved his life. The mountain lion was later killed by wildlife officers. The child is currently in stable condition. So some things to think about. I mean, you'd never think about that in regards that, hey, my kid's hanging out outside and all of a sudden you got an Iggy going on where you have a mountain lion that has decided to come around and attack my child. So there you go, some things to think about. A new study from Lending Tree claims that nearly half of Americans cried about finances during the pandemic. The survey, commissioned by Qualtrics, consulted about 2,050 U.S. residents between August the 2nd and August the 6th. Of those, 856 admitted crying about money, with reasons varied between good and bad. Over 42% cried over the job or income loss, while 33% shed tears over about not being able to afford wants or needs for their family, and 31% cried over debt. The fourth most common reason for tears stemmed from happiness when receiving COVID-related stimulus checks at 26%. As for who was doing the crying, parents with children, 60%, millennials, 59%, and women, 55%. Hey, I don't make up the numbers. I just report the numbers that I'm told.
Oops! What did he just say?
We at Safety FM don't always agree with the viewpoints of our hosts and guests.
Now back to real safety talk on Safety FM.
Okay, a judge has ordered a Michigan couple to pay $30,000 to their son after they got rid of his pornography collection. After moving back to his parents' home following a divorce, 43-year-old David Working learned that his porn collection was missing. Working told the judge that Judge Paul Maloney that his parents had no right to throw away his collection of films, magazine, and other items, while his dad said that he deemed him a big favor by getting rid of that stuff. Judge Maloney took Working's side and ordered the parents to fork over an estimated value collection. He also ordered them to pay $14,500 for their son's attorney. Okay, so hold on. I want to make sure that I have this clear. The guy had some porn. He moved to his parents' house because of a divorce, following a divorce. The parents put him up. They threw away his stuff, being his porn collection. And now, all of a sudden, out of the blue, he sues his parents because of the porn. And then the judge sides with them, and they have to pay for the lawyers. Woof! Talk about helping out people.
We at Safety FM are not responsible for what this idiot behind the microphone is saying. He is trying to be entertaining. Rated R Safety Show.
Okay, so I don't know if you heard about this one, but let's talk about it real quick. A SpaceX shipment of ants, avocados, lemons, ice cream, and a robotic arm were sent to the International Space Center yesterday. And I did say ants, just in case if you did not hear me correctly. The delivery, which will arrive today, is the 23rd shipment for NASA in the past 10 years. The Dragon capsule loaded up with 4,800 pounds of supplies for the ISS-7 astronauts. Also included in the shipment are seeds from mouse ear cress, a small flowering weed used for generic research, which was sent up by the University of Wisconsin-Madison. So there you go. A lot of interesting and weird stuff going on inside of the International Space Center as you are taking a lesson this morning of exactly all that stuff. I don't know. I guess everybody does it a little different. I'm just saying, but some things to think about for sure as we are talking this morning. Anyways, it is 30 minutes past the top of the hour, so I think it might be time to do that thing that we like to do around this time because it's important.
Here is our main story on the Rated R Safety Show.
Okay, so there you go. A lot of stuff going on inside of this morning. inside of the world, apparently also inside of the International Space Center as we are talking. So in regards of doing some things over the weekend and taking a look around and all that kind of fun stuff, we always hope that when we get older, when we're younger, we're giving a lot of thoughts to what our career is going to look like. And then we give a lot of thought to what's going to happen, later down the road. I would love to say that we want to be fortune tellers to an extent, but we want to take a look around and see what gets us excited and what we would like to see our world to look like. So I will tell you, over the weekend, I was having that one discussion that you have ever so frequently where you talk about, passion and commitment and all that other fun stuff that comes about. And what are you passionate about? And, what are you looking forward to do, even when you were at a younger age to the age that you are now? And I wondered how frequently inside of our career we take a look at that. I wonder how frequently inside of what we're doing currently we ask ourselves that one thing. What are you passionate about? What is it that you get up for every day and you're excited about? I mean, some people might say a paycheck, and I get it. I mean, yeah, it kind of helps the world spin around in regards of that. But there are things in life that you look forward to all the time, that you're passionate about, that you wake up and that's the thing. When you talk about it, you light up. You have a passion for one thing. Some people it's sports. Some people it's watching a game. Some people it's throwing back, going to a boat. There's all kinds of different stuff. But when you wake up and you have to do X, are you passionate about it? Now, listen, I know that this is the Rated R Safety Show. And I'm supposed to say, hey, you are passionate about safety. That's why you're taking a listen. But what are you passionate about? Is that what makes you passionate? Is it the safety side of the house? Or are there other things that come about? Are there other things that make you kind of go oogly boogly and make you all warm and fuzzy all over? I ask this question because if you're waking up every day and you're doing some things that you're not passionate about, why are you doing them? Like, think about the thing that brings you the most passion in life. Now, think about how passionate you are about that. And when you want your child or your children to have the same level of passion or love that you currently have towards X, towards whatever they do with their career. So imagine right now that on a daily basis, you are not living in that passion because of the work that you do. Children do pick up on those things. So at some point, you have to take a look at it and go, okay, do I need to do what I'm passionate about? Do I need to do the things that get me excited in life? The problem here comes about with this, is that sometimes we get so, let's say, comfortable with what we're doing that we forget about la pasión. We forget about the passion that drove us to what we wanted to do in the first place. I'm just saying, think about this for a moment. There's so many things that you only have time to do. And if you're committing yourself to 40 hours a week to something that you do not love, 50 hours a week to something that you do not love, 60 hours a week to something you do not love, what are you going to do? What are you going to do to change it? Go out there and do what makes you passionate about doing day in and day out. I talk to so many people that hate their job. I talk to so many people that say, if I can do it all over again, I would be doing X. So do it. Go do X. Listen, you can be passionate this way about safety. You can be passionate this way about broadcasting, podcasting. You can be passionate about this, about taking a box from one place to another. But do something that you enjoy with the passion behind it. You know, I will tell you, I get to hang out with a lot of people, and there are some that hate what they do, and there are some that love what they do. And when you speak to the ones who are passionate, and I mean passion, that all of a sudden everything changes and there's this glow and their whole face changes. That's good for their health. That's good for them. Like when you go through this whole thing of, oh, I have to go to work today. It's just so, I just hate going it. You think that's good for you? Like seriously, do you think that that is good for you to go throughout your weekend thinking about how much you dread going back to work? How much you dread doing what you have to do? So, I mean, think about this for a moment. If you can do something that drives your passion, what do you need to do to get there? I'm going to tell you something. It all starts with one thing. The first step. The first step. That's all you have to do. Do the first step. Because here's the thing. Your passion of what you want to do will start by one step. You can't expect to jump from one thing to another overnight. But guess what will change it? The first step. Then the next step, and you continue going. Opposed to it just being, oh, it's too late. It's never too late. It's never too late. You fall down 7 times, you get up 8. You move forward. You move forward until you're doing that thing that you're passionate about. The only one that can prevent you from doing what you want to do where your passion is lying, right there, take a look at yourself inside of that mirror because it's you. If you're passionate about safety, do that. If you're passionate about something else, do that. But go out there and find what you are passionate about. I get so tired of hearing about limitations. The limitations are you. Change it. Change it today and do what you're passionate about. But then again, what do I know? I'm a guy that's just passionate about safety and radio.
Oops! What did he just say?
We at Safety FM don't always agree with viewpoints of our hosts and guests.
Now back to real safety talk on Safety FM.
Don't go anywhere.
You're listening to the home of real safety talk.
You are listening to Safety FM. We'll be right back.
Okay, what are you wearing right now?
Nothing.
That's right. So mommy's going to teach you how to dress yourself. Underwear always comes first, name tag at the back, then pants, then shirt. Get the first button in the right hole or you have to start all over. Socks going first, then shoes, right on right, left on left. With shoelaces, just take the ends, cross them over, switch the loops, the rabbit goes down the hole, pull tight, and you're left with bunny ears. Got it? Why are your pants on your head?
Most parenting's hard to do in just 2 minutes. But 2 minutes twice a day making sure they brush their teeth is easier, and it could help save them from a lifetime of tooth pain. Visit 2min2x.org to find out more. A message from the Partnership for Healthy Mouths, Healthy Lives, and the Ad Council.
This message is for all of you sitting in the passenger seat. And apologies if it gets a little uncomfortable. But how does it feel to be at the mercy of someone who thinks a random text is more important than your life? Someone who takes their eyes off the road while speeding along in a 3-ton hunk of steel. Freaky, right? Well, why not just ask them to stop? Or better yet, volunteer to text for them. It might be a little awkward, but believe me, you'll live.
Learn more at StopTextStopWrecks.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council and the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration.
We are live outside the home of Joe and Rosie Goddard, where a pretty big tickle fight broke out just minutes ago. Sources say their father instigated the laughter. Let's go inside for a comment. Apparently, they have no comment. Dads, let this be a reminder that it only takes a moment to make a moment. Call 877-4DAD-411 or visit fatherhood.gov. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and the Ad Council.
How's it going? I'm having a stroke. Are you going to shake my hand? I'm having a stroke. Wow, you're not even moving your arm. I'm having a stroke.
When someone is having a stroke, they may not be able to say it with words, but their body language will tell you loud and clear. Look for FAST. F, face drooping. A, arm weakness. S, speech difficulty. T, time to call 911. 911 immediately. Know the sudden signs. Spot a stroke fast. Visit strokeassociation.org. Brought to you by the American Stroke Association and the Ad Council.
You know how sometimes you're out and about and sometimes you have to access a report, maybe your bank account, maybe something that's important to you, but you don't want other people to be able to access it? I know you're probably sitting there for a moment going, well, why don't you just go into incognito mode and use that instead? Well, let me tell you something real quick. Incognito mode does not hide your activity. It doesn't matter what mode you use or how many times you clear your browser's history. Your internet service provider can still see every single website you visited. And that's why even when I'm at home, I never go online without using ExpressVPN. It doesn't matter who your internet provider is. It can be Verizon, Comcast, or even AT&T. The ISP in the U.S. can legally sell your information to ad companies. ExpressVPN is an app that reroutes your internet connection through their secure servers so your ISP can't see the sites that you visit. ExpressVPN also keeps all of your information secure by encrypting 100% of your data with the most powerful encryption available. Most of the times I don't even realize I have ExpressVPN on. It runs seamlessly in the background and is so easy to use. All you have to do is tap one button and you're protected. ExpressVPN is available on all of your devices, phones, computers, even your smart TV. So there's no excuse for you not to be using it. Protect your online activity today with the VPN rated #1 by CNET and Wired. Visit my exclusive link at expressvpn.com/safety and you can get an extra 3 months free on a 1-year package. That's expressvpn.com/safety. expressvpn.com/safety to learn more. Okay, so if you're into some death metal, I'm here for you today. This is In Darkness by Slightless in Shadow. This one's readily available on Spotify and iTunes. Okay, so there you go. Okay, so it is 44 minutes past the top of the hour as you and I are hanging out real quick this morning. So let's talk about this. Let's talk about what is going on. I'm sure you heard about this. The milk crate, not great. Well, that did not last long. TikTok has banned the popular milk crate challenge due to concerns about people participating in the trend and being seriously injured. The challenge saw TikTok users stacking milk crates into a pyramid and then attempting to climb it across the unstable structure. TikTok says that it prohibits content that promotes and glorifies dangerous acts. In most videos depicted on the trend, TikTokers are seen tumbling and then tumbling to the ground as they climb on one side of the makeshift pyramid and then down the other. The ban has come after several healthcare workers voiced their concern about the trend and then the danger that it poses. Searching on the trends hashtags and the app now brings up no results found as the notice. So let me say, good. Now we know that go back to using milk crates for what God intended them, storing albums. I mean, I guess that's the first thing. The other thing is, if they could determine to stop harmful behavior, maybe it should be something, time to do something about the addiction that people have to TikTok. That's something else to think about. Because once my wife starts scrolling through TikTok, the rest of the family isn't going to see her for the rest of the night. That's normally the way that it goes. Well, and if those are the rules, I guess there's no sense in trying to promote the investigating of a cure for COVID business on TikTok. So there you go. I mean, it's going to become an interesting one as you think about it, because let's talk about this. There are people that are actually out in the fight world that promote their fights on TikTok. So does this mean that those things will go bye-bye as well? That will be something to take a look at as we do move forward.
We are now video streaming the Rated R Safety Show. I don't know why our host has a face for radio. Rated R Safety Show.
Okay, this is a trend that's somewhat safer than the milk crate challenge, but it was fairly odd. It seems many people are setting up the iPhone's locations to France, despite the fact that they don't live there, in attempt to speeding up their device. The hack has been received by a lot of attention on social media, claims that it prevents the slowing of the device seen on older iPhone. How? It stems from the fine that it was imposed by Apple on France competition watchdog. Apple was fined 25 million euros or $27 million last year for deliberately slowing down older devices, presumably to encourage them to buy new ones. Some iPhones users believe that the decision in France, Apple has stopped throttling the performance of its country. So setting your old iPhone, such as the iPhone 7 and older, to the region to be in France will disable it from being slowed down. The bad news, though, although it may speed up your older iPhone, it can cause some battery issues, and according to experts. So if you set your iPhone to France, that could make make it a pomade iPhone. The great idea is that you don't keep in mind that your phone at times always will be wrong. So that's going to be something else that you need to take a look at. It may also call you to feel a little fancy, because that's going to be the other thing. I mean, I think that if you're having the issue where you're not sure what to do, the other side to the equation is this. You get that extended battery thing that Apple offers, and that kind of almost doubles up the battery. So, I mean, if it's that big of an issue, I mean, we always keep them on the backup on the high-low here, just in case, because you never know when you might need it. So, there you go. There you go. Some things to think about. And apparently I have an extra chip for some God-unknown reason. Anyways, it is 48 minutes past the top of the hour. Let's continue talking about some other things. Let's talk about, did you know, if you had MySpace account back in the days before Facebook and wished that you could revisit your profile and retrieve some of your old photos, you can. Although MySpace's music focus site now, if you dig deep enough, you can uncover old page from 12 years plus ago. Simply log in on a desktop or a laptop where the mixes link from there. Click on Classic My Photos and relive your unfortunate hairstyle choices. And if you remember the password, if you don't remember the password, don't worry. MySpace remembers, and you can actually email yourself a reset to your password. So there you go. If you really want to live back in the olden days of what the hell was going on back at that time. Anyways, before we get too far into it, let me tell you real quick about my friends at the American Foundation for Suicide Prevention. Whether you have struggled with suicide yourself or have lost a loved one, know that you're not alone. Hear about personal experiences from people in your local communities whose lives have been impacted by suicide and depression. Find out more information, you can go to afsp.org, that's afsp.org, or call 1-800-273-TALK. That's 1-800-273-TALK, or text the word TALK to 741-741. So here's the thing. I will tell you, over the last year, there has been high numbers of suicide in the younger demographic. So I think that it's something that we need to talk about. Not that we shouldn't have been talking about it in the first place, but it's something that we should be talking about all the time. Just because you might not be struggling at the moment, you might know of someone who is. So it's always good to have this discussion to be able to proceed forward on what is going on inside of the world. Just think about that for a moment, on how much of an impact you can have in somebody's life just for the purpose of actually referencing what is going on inside of the world of suicide and depression, and letting them know of resources that are randomly available inside of their own community.
Bringing you information you never knew you cared about. Rated R Safety Show.
Okay, so let's go through it. Let's talk about some other things that are going on inside of the world real quick, because that's always what's going on. Okay, The Guardian has a comprehensive rundown of military equipment left behind in Afghanistan, and it's a lot. So here you go. 358,000 assault rifles, 126,000 pistols, and 64,000 machine guns. 42,000 trucks and SUVs, 634 tanks, 109 helicopters, 4 C-130 transport planes, and 60 support planes. So worth asking if we assume this was, of course, all part of the plan for this to be a very successful mission. Whose idea was it to leave all this stuff behind? Maybe that's something to think about. Just throwing that out there as a question because it does become an interesting one. No winner. Well, hold on. Maybe I should do this.
We at Safety FM are not responsible for what this idiot behind the microphone is saying. He is trying to be entertaining. Rated R Safety Show.
I know how things go around here, so I better be safe than sorry. Okay, so no winner for Friday night's Mega Million drawing. Tuesday's drawing will be for $306 million jackpot or a $221 million cash payout. No winner for Saturday night's Powerball. Tonight's drawing will be for $332 million jackpot or a $240 million cash payout. By the way, don't feel like I'm not paying attention to you there in the box. I'm here. I have just been focusing on all the new stuff that is going on right now. So thank you. In regards of what is going on for sure. Anyway, so let me give you the top 5 movies that happened over the weekend. At number 5, Don't Breathe at $2.8 million, and that's part 2 of Don't Breathe. At number 4, The Jungle Cruise at $5 million. At number 3, Paw Patrol at $6.6 million. At number 2, Free Guy, $13.5 million. I'm learning how to read today. And then Candyman. Apparently, a lot of people wanted to be scared over the weekend. It haunted in $22.3 million. So there you go. A lot of stuff going on inside of the world of the box office, if you were so inclined to do so. Just because we talked about him during the beginning of the pandemic, we're going to talk about it right now. Joe Exotic, former zoo, is no more. Exotic nemesis Carol Baskin of Big Cat Rescue sold off the Oklahoma property with a provision that the land can't be used as a zoo for 100 years. Big Cat Rescue was awarded control over the park by a judge in 2020 as part of a settlement in her long-standing lawsuit against Exotic Joe. Wouldn't it be Joe Exotic, not Exotic Joe? The lawsuit was filed in 2011, long before Tiger King became a Netflix sensation. The last remaining animals at the zoo were turned over to the Justice Department earlier this month. Meanwhile, Exotic remains behind bars after being convicted in a murder-for-hire plot to take out Baskin. So there you go. It'll be interesting to see. So, yeah, I mean, I'm going wowie. So there you go. Safety FM is trash. Okay, well, I appreciate the opinion. Appreciate it. Good morning. You know, here's the thing. Here's where I think that sometimes we kind of get confused. You can say it. It will still pop up on the screen, and I'm okay with it, dude. I am perfectly fine. The thing is that I don't expect everybody to love what I'm doing. It's okay. It happens that way. Okay, so Kevin Spacey is back to work on American soil for the first time since being accused of sexual assault. The actor who was exiled from Hollywood after the accusation surfaced back in 2017 is filming a new movie called Peter 5'8". Spacey dodged criminal charges in both Massachusetts and California cases against him. He is, however, being sued over alleged assault. I don't even know why I read that one, but I did because it was there. Sorry about that. Anyway, so let's talk about some things. Yeah, let's talk about some things that happened back on this date. Back in 2020, global cases of COVID-19 passed 25 million with over 843,000 deaths. That was a year ago today. In some other news, let's talk about some birthdays that are going on. Right now. So here you go. Sean Ryan Scott turns 20 today. Trevor Jackson turns 25. Boogie, the rapper, turns 32. Jordan Rogers turns 33. Ryan Ross turns 35. Cameron Diaz turns 49. I just saw an interview with Kevin Hart on his new show, Heart to Heart. it was interesting to hear what she had to say about why she has decided to get away from the Hollywood scene for a while. If you haven't watched that, you should probably recommend doing that. Okay, and then Warren Buffett, he turns 91 today, so just in case if you were wondering. If you're looking for some reasons to celebrate today, National Toasted Marshmallow Day, National Grief Awareness Day, Frankenstein Day, and then maybe a day that we should all celebrate if you can, if you're close enough to one, it's National Beach Day. So maybe some things to take a look at for sure as we are talking this morning. Anyways, let's continue talking. Let me give you some whack facts real quick. It is estimated that the common household can have as many as 500 million bacteria on its body. Yeah, on its body. Hold on. That seems kind of low for a household. Cut in half, a hailstone has rings like an onion. It is estimated that it takes 39,000 gallons of water to produce the average car. Fewer than 1% of all Google searches use the I am feeling sexy button. One British household has a copy of Pink Floyd's Dark Side of the Moon album. 1 in 5 British households. Wow, that's crazy. And then of 31,534 different words used in Shakespeare's works, 14,376 were used just once. So some things to think about when you're writing your next memoir to think about. Anyways, let's talk about it. A survey says that iPhone users are most optimistic about life, while BlackBerry users are the least, mostly because there's an app for that. Major social media outlets went dark last week. Twitter has gone down so many times that it's been made an honorary Kardashian. Tip of the week: if your laptop feels hot, don't put it on your lap. If you're a man, it may cause infertility, but if you're a woman, I hope that you're enjoying your husband's browser history. Fact of the day: if you're 16 or older, there is an 80% chance that you're already met the person that you're going to marry. And if you're in Mississippi, there's a 100% chance that that person is related to you. A fact of the day: a little boy who voiced Bambi became the youngest ever drill instructor in the Marines and served 3 tours in Vietnam. He also became the youngest drill sergeant to get his head flushed down the toilet once everyone found out about the Bambi thing. Yeah, I'm going for this one.
Oops! What did he just say?
We at Safety FM don't always agree with viewpoints of our hosts and guests.
Now back to real safety talk on Safety FM.
Okay, so here we go. If you need a random joke for today, try this one. Give the numbers of times I've dropped my iPhone. I'm honestly surprised that people still ask if I want to hold their baby. If you need a phone starter for today, try this. What does your kid absolutely have to take for back to school that you never did? A laptop, because they weren't a thing back then. If you need something for the water cooler, try this. Question: in a survey of school kids, what did they say was their favorite part of summer? Sleeping in. So there you go. That's the answer. Anyways, you've been listening to the Rated R Safety Show exclusively on safetyfm.com and radiobig.fm. We couldn't do what we do without you, the most important part of Safety FM and Radio Big, and that is the listener. Yes, we can't do without you. Remember that Safety FM is the home of real safety talk. Anyways, if you want to come out and hang out for the next couple hours, I'll be going over to radiobig.fm, so you're more than welcome on doing that. If I can leave you with a thought, though, I'd love to leave you with this one. If you're not willing to risk the unusual, or if you're not willing to risk the usual, you will have to settle for the ordinary. Yeah. Think about that. Anyways, I know who you are. You know who I am.
Duh.
Love you, mean it, and goodbye.
The views and opinions expressed on this podcast are those of the host and its guest and do not necessarily reflect the official policy or position of the company. Examples of analysis discussed within this podcast are only examples. They should not be utilized in the real world as the only solution available, as they are based only on very limited and dated open source information. Assumptions made within this analysis are not reflective of the position of the company. No part of this podcast may be reproduced, stored in a retrieval system, or transmitted in any form or by any means, mechanical, electronic, recording, or otherwise, without prior written permission of the creator of the podcast, Jay Allen.